that's what we're doing now, is we're kind of intellectually going backwards and back toward origin. And that helps because it actually creates a thread or a pathway through that. And so that when a person wants to go through it again, they can broaden the pathway, they can expand the understandings and the growth that's occurring and the mastery that comes with all these situations. Because the fourth condition has to do with harmony, and it has to do with integration, has to do with oneness, wholeness. That's what we need to do with regard to Eloi when we work our way back toward the origin. So we have to understand that what the Creator is doing, because Eloi is another name for the Creator, what the Creator is doing is sustaining the good for all, for everything. So we might not be able to perceive His wisdom at the time as to why He chose to sustain certain things and allow certain things to go on their own and destroy themselves. That's entirely His business, so to speak. He doesn't cut us out from that. We can certainly tune in to that and figure it out and find it out, but we have to work toward that. We have to take the steps toward that. Our desire for it is a good start, but the actual labor involved in order to get there has to be done. And part of that labor is sacrifice. We have to sacrifice self for the good, for the betterment of your person, of who you really are inside. Because the beast part of you might not give two hoots about the spiritual part, because the beast in you, it wants to get fed and it wants to have instant gratification. It wants to have these things here now, and it wants to demand things and control things and be a director, and just all the things that what we don't need as far as food for the spirit and food for the soul. Those things we need to deal with. And so in this little talk right now, I'm not going to go back any further than that toward origin, because you can probably work your way back from there, from the start that we've given there. We are going to touch more upon this, but we're going to look at it in a slightly different approach. Because as we mentioned, not only can we go backwards, or forward, but we go backwards, but we can go forward, but we need not start with man as the foundation. We can start anywhere in any of those conditions and use it as our foundation, and understand that condition better in that way too, and understand ourselves better in relationship to that condition. I'll give you an example of this. So instead of having the foundation as let's have the cosmos as our foundation. Number 4, Esek. That's the line circle with the horizon. So where is man in relationship to the cosmos? Because that's where you will be in relationship to the cosmos as well. And so we find that cosmos is number 4 and number 12 is man. Well, the difference between them is 8 according to our mathematics, arithmetic. If you subtract 4 from 12, you get an answer of 8. And that's right if you're doing counting. But remember, we talked in the very beginning of this series, we talked about how number was 2 things. It was count and it was measurement. Yes, we're counting 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and there's 8 of them. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, that's 8. But 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 5 is not our foundation. 4 is our foundation, because we're starting with 4. So that means that to go from 4 to 12, the measure started, because remember, the measure starts way back at the beginning of your, at the 0 point, at the starting point, which the starting point in this case is 4. And so going forward from there to 12, there's actually 9 stations involved. 4 becomes, number 4, the Isak becomes the foundation. Number 5 becomes the O to that foundation. The objectivity of the Isak, of the it's the rise from the Isak, and 5 is the Ieo, the rise, the elevator, the up and the down, because yes, the rise, but it can also be descent. So we can go forward from there, and so we find that the for the cosmos, the objectivity with regard to the cosmos can be found in the 5th condition. And the 5th condition being Ieo. Well, that may or may not make much sense, but if we count all the way up from Isak to 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 12 being the 9th condition, the 9th cycle of starting from Isak. Okay, that means, what that means is that 9 is the sustaining of the good, recall, because that was in the foundation look of the conditions, of the cycles, of the symbols, Samoin, symbols, foundation, the explanation of the universe. We start with 1, A, 2, O, 3, Esk, and so forth. All the way up to number 9 is Eloi, who is, we talked about before, is the sustainment of the good. This 9, we just continue, we move it this way, and we see that man, or Gan, number 12, is the 9th condition of Isak as the foundation. And what that means is that it's the responsibility of man to sustain the good that's in the cosmos. That's what that means. Now we can look at man in relationship to all the other stations if we start at that station as the foundation. Recall that number 5, Ieo, one of the things that it meant, besides the elevator up and down and all that, is that it represented the inner foundation compared to the outer foundation, which was the Ah. And we talked about that in a previous video with regard to sets of 4, when we went through sets of 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 being the first set, 5, 6, 7, 8 the third set, 9, 10, 11, 12 being the third set. And we talked about how Ieo, the 5th condition, has to do with the inner foundation. We find that using Ieo as the foundation, that man, and recall we're talking about all mankind here, is the 8th condition, the 8th cycle of that foundation. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, that's 8. 8 means regeneration, among other things. And so it's man's responsibility to regenerate the inner foundation.